My name is Don Anderson. I'm the Executive Minister of the Rhode Island State Council of Churches, and we are so glad to see all of you here this evening for this important conversation. Let me share with you just the basic format of how the evening's going to go. First, we want to give you some information and an opportunity to ask a few questions. After we've done that, Reverend Bety Garin is going to come forward, and we're going to use a process to get some information from you, and she'll explain that process. The sheets that you signed tonight, and if you didn't sign a sheet when you came in, please make sure you do if you want to get the follow-up information. We are going to put all of your email addresses on a spreadsheet, and within the next 2 days, we will send you, and if everything goes well, it depends on how much more the President does to disrupt our schedule. I've stopped making promises about when things are going to be done. But what we will do is we're going to send you a link to a Survey Monkey survey, and we're going to ask you to fill that out. And that survey is going to be based on the data that you give us tonight, and it will help us understand how you would like to be engaged. So you may just want to receive information. That's great. You may want to actually get engaged in helping to provide food, or perhaps you're a lawyer and you'd like to supply legal services. There'll be opportunities for you to check out that so we can have a sense of who are and what our resources are. And then you'll be able to invite other people to participate in that as well. You should have received a sheet, or there are some sheets floating around that talk about a webinar this Thursday. There will be a webinar this Thursday from 4 to 5 o'clock. That webinar is being sponsored by the North Carolina Council of Churches. It's not dealing with what's going on in North Carolina, it's dealing with what's going on nationally, but it will be a great source of information. And for those of you who just can't wait to get more right away, you can go on to that webinar. Now, because I'm technically inept and couldn't figure out how to get you the link any other way, I've given you my email address. And so what I'm inviting you to do is just send me an email and say, please send me the link to the webinar. And I will then reply by forwarding you the link, and you can go on and register for that webinar. There's no cost, but you're more than welcome to do that. Several of you have come from organizations that have things going on. If you send me those notices, we'll be glad to forward that to everybody who's here today. We realize this is a work night. We realize that you've made a sacrifice to be here. We want to get a specific task done and then be able to send you on your way. When Reverend Ortman comes up, he'll share with you some housekeeping details about where the bathrooms are and whatever other housekeeping details need to be here. But let me just say at this point, I really want to thank Reverend Ortman and the congregation of the First Humanitarian Church of Providence. We are so grateful for you opening up this marvelous facility for us to be together tonight. And so could we just give them a round of applause? And so let me just introduce the next couple of things that are going to happen, and then we'll let that move forward. Reverend Sharon Key, who has an amazing voice, somebody suggested we need to sing some things. So she's going to come and just lead us in a couple of songs to get started, and then we will have Reverend Ortman come up, and then after that, 2 members of this congregation are going to come and just talk a little bit about the conversation they're having here about possibly being a sanctuary congregation. This congregation was actually the first one. We were starting to do some national research, and we got an email from this congregation saying, what resources might you have? What do you know about? So it's very important for us to meet here tonight. And then once they've done that, we'll come back to talk more about our next 2 guests. The other person I do want to recognize, this is a gathering that is not just from the Christian tradition, but the President of the Board of Rabbis is here this evening. Rabbi Mack, where are you? Where's Rabbi Mack? Please stand. This is Rabbi Sarah Mack, who's President of the Board of Rabbis. I know we have some other people. But this is going to be a faith effort, and then an effort, beyond that. folks, you know, who are not necessarily people of faith but who want to be involved in this. Everybody's welcome to participate. Okay?